We have the legend of Indian chess, Grandmaster Viswanathan Anand, playing with the white pieces against the Russian Grandmaster Dmitry Andreikin. Andreikin is playing for the team of Beres, which is the Kazakh team having Swidler, Denis Makhnev, quite a strong team. While Vishy is playing for the team called Chess United, that has Jordan, Jose Martinez, Faustino Oro, and so on. E4, E6, D4, D5. We have the French defense, Knight C3, and Andreikin plays the slightly offbeat Knight C6. Vishy does not even stop. It seems like he has some ideas in this opening. Bishop D3. And remember, Andreikin is a world-class player. He played the FIDE candidates in 2014. If I'm not mistaken, H6 played, and Anand is gaining space on the king side. He brings his rook up. His plan is to put the rook on G3 and try to put pressure on the G7 point. And he plays his rook to G3. And generally you go king f8, but you don't want to mess up your castling right, so bishop drops back. It seems like black is wasting time developing, undeveloping, but black develops in the black believes in the solidity of their structure, and they think that bishop b7, queen d7, long castle will be fine. You can see Anand taking his time for the next plan, and he's planning to bring his queen to f4, and there you have it. The queen looks at f7, the rook looks at g7, and white is putting pressure here. Black defends the pawn, getting ready to long castle. And Vishy now, what should be his next plan is the question. In such positions, it's easy to go wrong. a4 played by him, maybe hinting at pushing the pawn to a5, and Andreikin castles bishop a3 so as to weaken the g7 pawn. This bishop is the defender. Very interesting strategy. But in doing so, black would now complete their development after bishop a3, rook a3. And if you notice the imbalances for both sides, white has more space because of this pawn. Black's bishop is a bit bad, but when it comes to pawn structure, black's structure is bulletproof. Rook takes a3, and now maybe queen e7, attacking the rook on a3. The rook can drop back, and then we have pawn to f6, striking in the center on the e5 point. And this is exactly what black wants. With the white king in the center, both the rooks have moved, so there's no chance to castle short or castle long. And Vishy goes rook g6. He's put his rook on this square, and if fe5, you want to play knight takes e5, keeping control of that e5 square. So maybe taking on e5 would be a bit too soon. Andreikin takes his time, and he's going for his h8 rook. Maybe rook f8 is what he wants to play. Yes, he plays rook f8. And if you have noticed, Anand plays his moves so quickly. There's a reason why he was called the lightning kid when he was young, because he just spots ideas quickly. Like here, bishop b5. I mean, what an interesting move. Because the knight controls the e5 square, he wants to get rid of it and then put his own knight on e5. It's just brilliant. It's simple when he makes these moves, but actually they are not so easy to sort of think about. Queen f8, doubling down the f file. And now should Anand take on c6, or is there something else he wants to do? He takes, bishop takes, and now a5. And that does give a lot of activity for the rook on a1. So you're threatening to take at the right time, no hurry. Andreikin now brings this bishop back to e8. So this is a plan now. For example, fe, knight e5, and rook f2 could be an idea. Just takes, and then this is hanging. So he takes on f6. If rook takes f6, g7 pawn falls, so gf6. Now, maybe rook can go to g8. But there's also a possibility to move the king away. He goes rook g8, queen e7, and black's plan is to break in the center with e5. Once the position opens up, the white king is in trouble. King d2, perfect move by Anand, the best move. Andreikin now is thinking about what to do of this rook on g8. He goes bishop to b5, offering a trade of rooks. And Anand chops on d8. Queen takes d8. And remember, any time that white takes on b6, black wants to take with the pawn and defend it sideways with his rook. Queen comes up to f4, attacking the h6 pawn. And now Andreikin brings his queen. He's looking to move his queen to f8. He defends the pawn on h6, and Vishy quickly plays h5, fixing this weakness here and trying to maybe get the knight in to g6. Black goes king to b7, and Anand is ready with knight h4, e5 played. Now if you take and take here, f2 pawn is hanging, so he keeps the queen on f3, keeps this open. e4 is likely, but he takes. And Andreikin is playing on this belief that if pawn takes, his queen can enter in, and if queen takes pawn, he would have enough compensation. Now bishop c6 would be a blunder because of a6. So c6 is played, and queen takes pawn. The queen and the king are in one line, but Vishy has noticed that the rook cannot come here. So he's okay with it. He's playing very sharp chess here, but he's calculated his way through. And the king on d2 is weak. So Andreikin is looking at a way in which he can take advantage of the king's position. Queen c8, now threatening rook d7. A very smart idea is to run away with the king. King c1, king b2. Anand plays king c1. And now Andreikin looking for some kind of a move that will give him an advantage. Queen e6. Vishy takes, attacking a7, ab. And now calmly playing the king to b2. The rook moves in. The queen moves sideways, this time attacking the h6 pawn. I think there's no time to defend that pawn. Queen e2 played. Maybe queen c4 was stronger, offering a queen trade. Knight jumps into f5. And now the knight is eyeing the d6 square. It's a juicy check there. Bishop d3. Notice knight d6. There's rook d6. So Anand comes back. Knight e3. Defends the pawn. The bishop drops back to h7. But now queen a4 with the idea of entering with the queen and the rook to checkmate the black king. Queen b5. He takes because there's a check. Pawn takes. Rook d1 offering a trade. White is a pawn up. Andreikin takes. But now this endgame is a completely lost one. Knight e3, bishop goes back. Vishy plays his king. The speed at which Vishy is playing is just amazing. Bishop d7, g4 with the idea of knight f5, and you can't protect this pawn. And Anand has seen the king and pawn endgame is completely winning if bishop takes knight. And Andreikin, well, he plays king d5 and he loses on time. In fact, he resigns the game. What a game by Vishy Anand. Really a flawless game against a strong blitz player like Dmitry Andreikin, who plays a lot online and is in good practice. To play this way shows that Anand is still one of the top blitz players in the world of chess, and that too at the age of 56 years old. That is just simply incredible.
Freedom begins with a choice. In 2008, we made ours. Freedom knows no borders. Step by step, we became part of the global financial system. In 2019, we went public on NASDAQ. In 2024, we built a digital ecosystem. Fintech, lifestyle, telecom, everything comes together in one unified digital space. Today, freedom is a system that shapes markets. $2 billion in annual revenue, $9.3 billion market capitalization, 11 million customers, 11,300 plus employees, 230 offices worldwide. Freedom begins with a choice, and every day we make it again. Freedom Holding Corp. One ecosystem, many possibilities.